Oh, look, someone's at the window. Look, who's that?
They always say that love makes us blind. How I'd like to know what they mean. I don't want to be an old maid forever. After all, I don't know how to sew. My friend Molly is preparing for her picture. It's to be put up in her mummy and daddy's card shop just before Valentine's Day. She's wearing her best outfit and has borrowed her mother's necklace. She hopes she'll find her Valentine from this picture. Whatever will they think of next? Wimborne is ever so romantic. If I could not find my own Valentine, why not I play at matchmaking? I'm currently reading Jane Austen's Emma. I'm only halfway through it, but maybe I can similarly bring joy to my cold-hearted neighbours, like these two. Let's play Cupid. Look, a card from your beloved.
My beloved? You mean him?
He's infatuated with you.
Oh dear, he must be going down with something.
Love.
There's no such thing as love, Ella.
Read this.
Let's see. My Valentine, my lovely maid, kind, gentle, fair and free. In all thy dearest dreams arrayed, how few are found like thee. Thy image always fills my mind, so let your heart approve, since fixed to thee alone I find I need no other love. Oh, that is sweet.
Very romantic. And what about him?
Oh, hello, Ella.
Solid and dependable from the outside. A catch, I think. I have a letter for you, from your beloved.
Oh, which one?
Love is sweet, isn't it?
It is the heart, that heart is thine, in all of its purest feelings, and even then, my Valentine. It sends its true revealings. She's not pregnant, is she?
What?
Oh. Can you, dear girl, my suit withstand, to join with me in heart and hand? Have you not made up your mind at yonder church there to be joined? Cupid waits to hear you say when you'll name the wedding day. Let us then no longer wait to enter in that happy state. Deliver this to her.
Bit forward, isn't he? Love is a code. I don't understand. They're flowers. Or chocolates?
My life I dedicate to thee, and own myself no longer free.
No longer free? What are you talking about? Love? Well, I thought love was...
Equal?
Yes. That's what Molly always says.
How old is Molly?
Nearly 16.
I see. Ella, there is so much more to love than meets the eye. Aren't Valentines a little old-fashioned? This is your handwriting in here, isn't it? Your handwriting.
Perhaps?
Have you been meddling?
Perhaps?
Well, let me show you the reality of love, or at least the reality of men. It can't all be Mr. Darcy. Give this to him.
From a lady to a rake? What's this?
I know.
Think not, gay deceiver, I'm a fond believer. Your promises are air. Oh, long did I discover that you're a general lover, attached to any fair. Let whatever bell come, you will make her welcome. Soft nonsense, you've by heart. Let her go be wary, or your strange vagary may cause a lasting smart.
That is scandalous.
Women! Doesn't she realise she'll need to get married sooner or later?
Oh,
Oh, let us hasten to this shrine which mutual bliss secures, that all your raptures may be mine, and all my joy be yours. Deliver this to her. Tell her to meet me at the minster when the clock strikes 2.
This never happened to Emma Woodhouse.
oh, let us hasten to this shrine, which mutual bliss secures, that all your raptures may be mine, and all my joys be yours. Well, that does it. I don't need him as much as he needs to do this.
You would be thought a swell full blown by every girl who passes. Make no mistake, they write you down the greatest of all asses. Well, well.
Before I tell you whom I love, I'll tell you whom I hate. I hate a girl that can't be true, a girl that's fond of prate. I hate the girl that's fond of drink and takes it on the sly. She never can have sense to think away from such I'd fly. I hate a girl that's fond of airs, for pride is very bad, and who neglects her house affairs by being prone to gad. Vinegar valentines are all the rage. Time for something to sour the mood, don't you agree?
My pleasant, pig-faced, my pleasant pig-faced gentleman, you may persuade me, if you can, to marry you, and thus intrude among the swinish multitude.
You are a pig in mind, nay more, your manners make you quite a bore. So look among your fellow swine for a more fitting valentine.
Oh no, wait, come back.
Maybe I'm not ready for love just yet. This card was for Molly. She's the pretty one. Always gets all the attention. Let's see. What does this one say? I will ask no other treasure than the music of thy voice, and in love's own fondest measure will my faithful heart rejoice. No, I don't think romance is for me. Please follow me forward.
Come on in, lovely. That's it, make your way in. That's lovely. Might just need to lift your head a little bit there. Sorry. That's lovely. Get some water on it.
Oh, Freya, put your mobile phone down, dear. It's not appropriate for work experience.
But I've been reading the story of Narcissus and Echo.
Well, that's not to do with this job, is it?
No, because it is to do with the Roman fresco upstairs.
Well, I'd like you to come and look at this woman. Do you notice her necklace? Her locket is just like the one my grandmother had, the one that belonged to her sister Dora. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, she's pretty. Is she the one that died in the war?
Not in the war, not the First World War, but in the influenza pandemic, just after.
Oh, did this woman die then too?
Well, we don't know. She had her photograph taken at Potter's studio in Wimborne, but she's just one of the unknown women of the collection, of which there are many.
That's sad. Sad that we don't know who they are or why they had their pictures taken.
I found the book. Oh, good. Let's have a look what else we can see.
Wait, stop. Look at him. He's so sweet in a
Oh,
little
yes.
sailor suit.
Oh, yes. Now, him we do know about. He was part of the Genby family. They lived on East Street, next to Potter's photographers. Yes, his name was Sidney Genby, and sadly, he died in the First World War. His name's on the war memorial.
Oh.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh dear.
Let's see a happier photo.
Oh, let's see what we can see. Oh. What about this one?
Ah, now, yes. This is an interesting photo. Certainly a very handsome chap. Do you see how he's wearing his working clothes and his shirt sleeves are rolled up and his waistcoat?
Yes. Yes. It's strange he didn't wear his Sunday best. Many of the other portraits show the people dressed up as though they want to look rich or posh, even if they were the labourers or servants in the big houses.
And he's definitely in a studio setting.
Yes, he's come to have his portrait done, you see. And the little girl who's with him, she looks very well groomed, doesn't she? In her dress there and her boots. Simple, very neat and tidy.
Yes. It's as though maybe he's trying to tell us something. Maybe he's actually proud of his station in life.
Yes, Johnny Squid's perfect. Dairyman of High Hole.
With his baby daughter, Winnie. Hold on. If they know his name, how come they don't know the name of the girl with the locket?
Yes. Well, sometimes I don't think they recorded the names of the women in those days.
No, it's sad they thought that way, isn't it?
I shouldn't like to think that there were anyone in my family or my friends that hadn't got their name on their photo.
Otherwise, how will our grandchildren, their grandchildren, know who we were?
Right.
See?
As I looked out one May morning, oh, in the blooming spring, I overheard a maid complain, and grievance did she sing. How cruel were her parents, they did her so annoy, for they would not let her marry with a bonny labouring boy. Now Johnny was a true love's name, as you will plainly see. Her parents they employed him, their labouring boy to be, to plough the soil and reap and sow on her father's land. And she did fall in love with him, as you may understand. His hair is like a raven's wing, his eyes are blue as the sky, his face it is the finest that ever I would espy. His manly white and handsome, his looks are like the snow, and in spite of both my parents, with Johnny I will go. Oh, Rose, I love that old song, I do. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I know. Something I had to tell you about. You'll never guess what I saw downtown the other day.
What was that then?
Well, there in the window of that Pottle Studio, that picture place, picture of our Johnny in the window.
Johnny who?
Well,
Not that groom up at High Hall who's been seen walking out with the master's daughter.
what? I ain't heard nothing about that.
Tis
What's
true,
all
tis
about?
true, Daisy. It's all the talk. They even sent each other secret Valentine's cards and all they
They
did.
never did. Oh, well, the master and mistress of the Hall will never stand for that, will they? Oh, it's just like in the song there. No, I wasn't talking about that, Johnny. I was talking about Johnny Squibbs, you know, the dairyman up at High Hall.
Ah, now I see. Bonnie Squibbs Parfit, eh?
Oh, yeah, Bonnie indeed he is. Manly and handsome.
Now, don't you
and
start. He's a good family man, Johnny, with his little daughter, Winnie and all. And he sees to the cattle, and he sees we all get our fair share of milk.
Oh, that's true enough. True enough. Do you know what? I reckon, Rose, we ought to get ourselves down to Pottle's studio, have our pictures done. What do you reckon? That'd be good, wouldn't it? I'd like to send a photo back to my folks at home in London, show them how I'm doing down here, what I'm like now, you know? And then, when I get old, I'd still be young, wouldn't I? And then when I'm dead and gone, I'd still be here. Yes, I like the idea of that. Yes, and I'd like to dress up for it and all. Oh, yes, I'd like to have a nice, pretty dress and maybe a posh hat. And, be like a lady what talks proper. And have tea and cakes in the tea shop. That's what I'd like.
Daisy, you are a one. But I suppose it's not a bad idea. I mean, I never thought of it. But I think Johnny was onto something. I think we should be true to ourselves, you know, dress in our working clothes, how we really are. Neat and tidy like, but how we really are, like Johnny Parfit.
I reckon you might be right there, Rose. I reckon we should. I reckon we should show everyone how proud we are to be the labouring folk. We'll fill our glasses to the brim and send the toast around. Here's a health to every labouring boy who ploughs and sows the ground, who when his working day is done, it's home he'll go with joy. And happy is the girl who wears her bonny labouring boy. Yes, happy.
What?
No? No? Oh, isn't it time we were going upstairs to your next shift?
Yes, in the fresco gallery, Freya.
Just through there.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't.
You better follow her. Maybe she heard us.
Bit of old tile, isn't it? Or something. It's quite old, whatever it is.
Fragments of a fresco found in the late 1960s at Tarrantinton.
Yes, 1969 to be precise. Now, to put on to a fresco and to put on the paint quickly is, you've got to put it on quickly as the paint is still wet.
The Romans turned windowless walls in their houses into picture windows to make rooms look bigger.
Sadly, this is all that remains. Time has been wiped away, the rest. But do we know the artist? No.
Who was the model? We don't know.
Who makes the ingredients for the artist? We don't know.
But we're pretty sure of the title, Narcissus.
Yes, Narcissus was a young youth who fell in love with himself.
It became a popular subject for art. Many people wanted a fresco or a mosaic done for their villas.
Though he was handsome, Narcissus had never found anyone to love.
Oh.
Then one day he went hunting in the woods and got lost. He was thirsty, so he went to drink from a sparkling stream nearby. As he bent down, he saw the most beautiful face staring right back at him, eyes wide open.
This is the picture of his face. This is Narcissus.
He was excited. His heart beat faster, and he stepped into the water to touch the other face, the other body, but the image kept shattering into 1,000 liquid shards. Again and again he tried, but it was no use. As time passed, Narcissus began to fade away, slowly, slowly, until he became a flower, a daffodil.
A Narcissus.
But what about Echo? You didn't mention her in the story.
Was she in the story?
Sort of. She saw Narcissus drinking by the stream, and she fell in love with him too, but he didn't fancy her.
Yes.
Oh.
I remember now.
Where is she in the fresco?
Echo! Echo. Ah, yes, maybe that's her leg.
Maybe.
Is that her face?
No, it's probably a cherub watching over Narcissus.
Oh dear, I do believe she's disappeared from the painting.
But why didn't you include her in the title of the fresco?
Well, you can't see her. And anyway, her story isn't as well known as...
Narcissus' story?
No wonder. If Echo doesn't get told properly, it's not fair. His story, history, what about her story? I want to hear her story.
Oh my giddy aunt, what's that?
I don't love you, but I love this face of this picture. Oh no, I've got to turn into like a daffodil now.
Now, do you think we started to know a little bit more about Echo's story? We'll find out for part 2 as a film. We'll find out how and why she lost her voice. See you next.
To have their image captured for eternity.
Here we transform people
We dress them up,
in their best.
young and old.
Master and servant.
Not many servants, mind.
No.
All for a
Modest
price.
Father,
What?
you haven't introduced us.
Oh, how rude of me. Pottle's the name. Joe Pottle, well-known Wimborne photographer.
Ella Pottle, Mr. Pottle's daughter, and one of his assistants. Shall we show them the studio photograph, Father?
Do you know how to do that?
Of course. Voila.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Ward showed me.
Mr. Ward, Mr. Ward. She talks about this Mr. Ward all the time. He's just one of my assistants. So here we are. This is what I call my carte de visite.
That means calling card. They're all the rage. Everybody wants them.
Yes, and look at the classical influences in my studio. The Doric columns with greenery to give that natural look. What fine artists those Romans and Greeks were. And yes, I do humbly consider myself an artist too. When I'm rendering a picture of somebody, I'm capturing how they want to be in the community, in the world, and helping it with a classical background to give gravitas and status.
Father, remember
What?
what Mother says.
What did Mother say?
Don't go talking too much. People want to see images to promote our business.
Oh, yes.
Here are some more cartes de visite of Wimborne tradesmen.
Is that a good photograph or not? It's
Yeah.
a good photograph. Tradespeople in Wimborne.
Next one. The butchers.
A lot of meat. A
For
lot
all
of
the
meat there.
vegetarians in the room. Yes, a lot of meat there.
I've had an idea.
Have you?
Let's just see if we've got tradespeople here.
But Father,
Yes. Have we got any tradespeople here who would like a carte de visite for a reasonable price? You, sir, at the back. Would you like a carte de visite?
no, Father,
3 guineas.
Father. Mother says it isn't seemly to be seen to be focused on selling our wares.
Oh, well, let's not sell our wares. Let's demonstrate
Let's
our wares.
demonstrate.
So we need a willing volunteer. Should we choose that man over there? Would you step forward, sir? This is the well-known fishmonger from Wimborne. Sit in that chair, sir.
There's your fish.
And it's Carter de Bistay, so
Yes,
this
please,
chair,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
No one's got that wrong before. And so if you pose now with the fish,
Please don't fiddle with the floppy fish.
don't fiddle with the floppy fish.
No.
Hold it still,
Hold it still.
face the camera, stay still.
Can I touch your head, sir? Yes or no?
I suppose.
No? Okay.
Give him that rugged look.
Give it the yes, the rough leg.
The rough look.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're a fishmonger. Show us your fish.
Good night, suppose.
Yeah.
No smiling.
No frowning.
Pose. Freeze. Technical term. There will be a long exposure of 10 seconds. Father.
Can you all join in? 10,
9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's magnesium.
Give the fishmonger a round of applause. And while you have your hands available, give my wonderful daughter a round of applause. Because she is going to be a great photographer one day.
Oh, thank you. Father, shall we show the kings and queens portraits we photographed? Everyone loves a photograph of royalty, don't they?
We Pottles are famous for our royal portraits, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Shall we see King Edward?
Yes, but just a minute, because you need to know that quite a few royals deign to descend on Dorset. Ella,
Oh, here we go.
so the first picture you're going to see is King Edward VII
With his friends.
with his friends, the Allingtons of...
And they were staying at Critchell House at
Critchell
that
House.
time. But Father, this is Prince Edward.
Oh, it's Prince Edward.
Yeah, let's carry on.
You're right.
Yeah, here we go.
What will we do without her?
What about that?
Here's the king now, with his royal entourage.
And
Yes.
this one.
Oh,
That's
the
with his
lovely-
wife.
And the lovely terrier. Who wants to stroke that terrier? Put your hands up. Those who want to stroke the terrier.
With his wife, Queen Alexandra.
That's why it's been Alexander.
Beautiful.
More pictures.
Just. Oh, dear. Shall we see the next one?
Oh,
Oh,
this lady here, I'm being very discreet now, this lady here was quite important in his life.
oh.
Because she was one of his lady friends from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Strictly entre nous, because nobody wants to gossip about royalty, do they? Especially par des bons les enfants.
Father, I am not a child. And the lady in question was Miss Alice Keppel.
Oh, not the headaches again. Oh dear.
No, it's just a headache, Father. So, can I show the little terrier?
Terrier, yes.
Yeah.
So sweet, this terrier.
Oh, look
there
at
he
that! C'est adorable.
C'est adorable, except when he left his calling card all over my camera cases.
No.
Sweet thing. But these pet portraits are becoming irritatingly popular.
Of course they...
Oh, not your head again. You should have stayed at home like your mother said.
Oh, but Father, I love it here. I love working with you in the studio. I feel so alive. Oh. One day, I'm going to be a famous lady photographer like Julia Margaret Cameron, and my photographs will be works of art.
Works of art.
Oh,
Oh, not the head again.
no, Father, go on with your speech. Here's Kaiser Wilhelm.
Ah, very regular visitor to Critchell House was the German Kaiser Wilhelm.
Yes. Don't you think he looks sinister?
No, Ella. He's extremely distinguished. Great presence.
Untrustworthy.
Can you stop these interruptions and carping at things I say? I'm very proud of all our royal portraits.
Mr. Ward does most of them.
Mr. Ward. Here we are, Mr. Ward again. All she ever taught is Mr. Ward. I employed him. He's just an assistant. He's not important. I'm the one person who composes. I advise.
Mr.
I'm in
Ward,
charge.
Mr. Ward takes all the photos and develops them with my help. And Mr. Ward knows all about the new camera,
Ward.
which I hope you're going to see soon.
Mr. Ward. Oh, somebody.
Excuse me.
Ah, there you are, Ella. Why do you disobey me so? I expressly told you not to accompany your father here tonight. But you take no notice. Come with me now.
No, please, maman, pas devant les visiteurs.
Come with me now, Ella. Say good evening to these good people.
Father.
Mr. Pottle.
Ella, I think you'd better do as your mother says. Sorry.
Good evening.
Straight home and into bed.
Mother, I am 18.
Off you go.
Need to apologise for that little domestic bit there, really. Any questions about the camera, the studio? Adam, have you got a question?
Where's Mr. Ward?
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
I don't like to talk about Mr. Ward. I think she's obsessed with him.
Yes.
It's not right, really, a young girl like that. Any more questions?
Who's that on the picture there?
Oh, this is, good question. This is our family doctor. I took that photograph. And we're
I
going to
have
health
a
care
question.
for free. You have a question, Mary.
I do. What sort of father allows his daughter to assist him in his workplace?
This again.
Well, the doctor, Dr. Parkinson, has said that if the illness that she might have with her headaches and her dizziness are possibly as a result caused by exposure to toxic chemicals.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Pottle?
None of this is proven, Mary. You're embarrassing me in front of these guests.
I've just come from Dr. Parkinson, and he's received the tests back from the hospital in Bournemouth. Yes. And they say that there's clear evidence of silver nitrate toxins in Ella's bloodstream, and caused by those chemicals that you make her paint on that photographic paper with.
Mary,
It's disgraceful.
No, don't make her do anything. She chooses to come to be my assistant.
Furthermore, Dr. Parkinson says that she'll only get worse if we don't take measures to change our life.
Very well. I won't allow her to come to the studio again. All right?
No, it goes further than that. He recommends that we take her out of this toxic environment and to somewhere where the air is cleaner.
But my business is here in Wimborne. I don't want to work in Swanage or Weymouth, would you? No.
You pursue your business to the detriment of your child, Joe Pottle, wanting to be the best.
Oh, nonsense. I want to apologise for my wife's outburst. I don't know what's come over her. You see...
But you don't see, that's just it. Yes, you see these people and their vanity wanting to have their portraits taken. And you see the money that you take from the rich and poor, but you don't see your child getting more and more infirm. But I do. My eyes have been opened, and we shall go to Canada.
Breathe. We did, in fact, leave Wimborne for Canada. And a few years later, and my health improved. However, mother, father and I didn't really take to Canada, and so we returned to Great Britain 6 months later, on the condition that my mother stipulated that we no longer work in the photographic trade. To this end, we opened a grocery store in Southampton, where I met my future husband at the age of 37. And we had a little boy called James Reginald. I never did make it to be the great photographer. Oh, c'est la vie. But I did live to the ripe old age of 99.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go through this way to see the new camera. Ooh.
Wasted women with dark curls cascading, mothers or fathers holding their bonny bouncing babies still. Young couples on the wedding day, only sometimes looking more like they were going to a funeral. Medallion mares, in all their pomp and ceremony. What have they got in common, you ask? Well, all of them, from Tiddler to Granfer, upside down. Because, like every other camera, that's how I see the world. My eye, which you would call my lens, opens when the photographer takes off the cap and closes when they put it back. Now what I see is clear to me, but the picture is made by light on a screen at the back, and it's upside down. The photographer studies the subject intently from beneath a black cloth, while you, the sitter, squirm and fidget. Could I have a volunteer to be the sitter, please? Sir?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Thank you very much. If you would sit there and face the camera over here. Thank you very much. Could you do a bit of squirming and fidgeting just to make my point? That's not bad.
It's a shirt I've got on, that's really...
But you can stop now, thank you. Where was I? Oh, I remember. The photographer racks the focus in or out, and there you are, all sharp and clear. He says, won't be long now, and quickly slips in a plate where the screen had been. Then he says, steady, steady. The seconds tick by on his watch, and light burns your image into the surface of the plate forever. Then he quickly slips the slide back in, says, all done, and you, the sitter, can go back to your squirming and your fidgeting. Well, thank you very much. But I do laugh quietly to myself, seeing you all upside down. Well, while I've got your attention, sir, could you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Would you please read this out loud? Because I have to say, reading's not one of my better skills.
Full frame studio camera made by Marion & Co. Soho Square, London. As fine an example of the lens maker's craft that money can buy. Carried on a mechanism as smooth and stable as a well-oiled machine, and all in the style that would grace any grand withdrawing room.
There we are. Thank you very much, sir. That's actually what my first owner said when he first saw me when I came down to Wimborne from London by train. Mr. Joe Pottle, that was. Thank you very much for your help, sir.
Pleasure.
I was purchased by Mr. Job Pottle for his studio in Eastbrook, Wimborne. But, truth be told, Mr. Job never really got the hang of me. In fact, madam, could you ensure that door is actually shut?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, absolutely so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we'll adjourn to the adjacent room for the continuation of my discourse. Please go quietly. It was Pottle's assistants who really got to know my ins and outs. They were the real artists. And I like to think that over the years they produced some jolly fine photographs with me too. And as you look round, I hope you'll agree. Good though they were in the studio, Pottle had run-ins with one or two of them. Thomas Coop of Blackburn, now this is before my time, took off with 24 photographs and 1 negative, valued at the principal sum of £1. Pottle discovered the theft, the police were called in, Coop was apprehended and brought to justice. Some years later, he employed George Ernest Ward. Now, Ward was very good with plates and with lenses, but shall we say, mischievous with merchandise? Once again, Canny Job got wind of it. and at Wimborne Crown Court, Ward was ordered to pay his debt to Pottle. £34, 6 shillings and 8pence, a considerable sum back then. But soon afterwards, the Pottles went abroad to Canada. And do you know what? Mr. Joe barely bade me farewell. Sold the studio and yours truly. After that, a couple of owners came and went in quick succession. I have to say I don't remember them. Then came Mr. Stanley James. That's him, wearing glasses in this photograph. And he's with a very famous society photographer called Marcus Adams. Now, Mr. James preferred to be called Jimmy. Now, Jimmy was very particular about the way in which photographs be taken. Everything had to be done just so, every hand, every prop precisely placed. And as for his photography skills, well, I remember the occasion of the wedding of a well-known local politician. It rained from dawn to dusk. But because of his professionalism, Jimmy ensured that not one drop got through to the print. Sadly, Jimmy died, suddenly and unexpectedly. A great loss. The studio was taken over briefly by his assistant, Richard Pink. But it has to be said, Mr. Pink's interest lay far more with commercial photography. And so the studio was closed and I was sold at a not inconsiderable sum to the Priest's House Museum. And that's where I remain. I have to say that it is extremely strange for me being observed rather than the one doing the observing. But time moves on. And it is time now for you to move on and for me to return to my being silent. Thank you for listening. If you could follow me.
Welcome to the Roman Eye. We see further, looking deep into unsolved mysteries. Tonight, Layla Reportari reports from Wimborness on the strange disappearance of a young nymph called Echo.
A young nymph called Echo vanished a few days ago at a beauty spot, Sylvan Woods, near Mount Olympus. Was it an accident or foul play? Who took her voice away? I want to find out. I have come first to her family home to meet Echo's mum, Mira. Tell me about your daughter. Was she always a girl of few words?
No, she was very, very talkative, my Echo, always chatting on about this and that. It all went wrong when she went to stay with the other nymphs up at Henleycon Gardens. I'm not sure they were a good influence. I've heard they have affairs with the gods, well, one god especially.
Poseidon? Zeus?
I couldn't possibly say. She did say she had taken a shine to a young man, Narcissus.
Olympus's most eligible bachelor?
Yes. And I noticed one day when she came home for a brief visit, the chattering had stopped. If I said, "Are you going to bed?" all she did was to copy, "To bed, to bed, to bed." It's so very sad to see her like this. And now she's vanished.
I have come to Echo's old school to meet her former teacher, Sophia.
Come in.
Excuse me, Sophia. I am Layla from the Roman Eye. I have some questions. How long did you teach Echo for?
6 years.
What was her favourite subject?
Flowers. All the colours.
Was she a good pupil?
Yes.
Did she get into trouble?
Chatterbox.
But otherwise she was a sensible girl?
Yes. A kind girl.
Thank you. I am beginning to wonder if something has happened at Heligon Gardens that affected her health. So I tracked down her family doctor, Dr. Medicus. Dr. Medicus, can you tell me anything about the missing nymph Echo?
I examined Echo only a few weeks ago to figure out what was wrong with her. I thought it might be laryngitis, so I examined her throat.
Could this explain why she lost her voice? I can only repeat the last words.
It could do, but the problem is it's not laryngitis.
Oh.
It's a mental health problem. She thinks the gods are punishing her. She told me that Queen Hera was jealous of Zeus's wickedness and was taking it out on her. I gave her an injection. I thought that would help. And then I gave her some pills, but she refused to take them.
Oh. And that was the last time you saw her?
Yes, I feel sorry for the poor girl. She must be going through some kind of trauma.
What if the doctor was wrong? What if the gods really are to blame? I have come to right on top of Mount Olympus to get the answers I need. Lord Zeus, I am from the Roman Eye. Can we have a word?
Well, hello there, gorgeous. Are you a nymph?
No, I am Layla, a reporter from the Roman Eye.
Look, I'm a very busy man. I mean, God, I got a bunch of thunderbolts to throw. So what's all this about?
We are investigating events leading up to the disappearance of the young nymph called Echo.
Never heard of her.
She was friends with another nymph who we have on good authority you had relations with.
No comment. What program did you say you were from?
The Roman Eye. What do you say to the charges that your wife Hera took her anger against you out on Echo?
Speak to my solicitor or speak to my wife. I had nothing to do with it.
Are you unfit for office, Lord Zeus?
How dare you? Do you know who I am? I could destroy you!
Hello! Can I help you? I'm Narcissus.
But you're a daffodil.
Yes, but don't let that bother you. I see lots of goings on here.
Up for an interview?
Yes, of course. About the young nymph, Echo, am I right? I knew of once, back when I was a mortal. But that's another story.
Echo was in love with you, wasn't she?
So they say.
Why did you reject her?
I wasn't interested in her. I was too busy hunting with my friends. You know, I would like to go to the river, and she was always there.
So you didn't lead her on?
No! She kept following me and repeating what I said. So annoying, as I was interested in someone else. A beautiful youth. He looked just like me. Perfect.
That's a bit boastful, isn't it?
Well, it did give me a bit of a complex. It was all too much staring at him in the water, but I just faded into a bright yellow daffodil.
You clearly feel sorry for yourself. But what about Echo?
Not my fault. I didn't. I couldn't love her. Is it? Blame Hera.
My search for Hera had led me to the very top of Mount Olympus to meet the beautiful goddess of love, Aphrodite. I understand you spent time with Echo?
Yes, you see, child, Echo's mother prayed to me, asking me to protect her while she was in Helicon. The world of love can be very distracting for young nymphs. I did my best, but Echo just wanted to help her fellow nymphs. One was involved in a liaison with you-know-who.
Zeus?
Shh, clouds have ears. Off the record. Hera arrived in her peacock chariot, searching for her husband Zeus, and challenged Echo. Echo covered for her friend, you know, in the spirit of love, telling Hera that Zeus was at a temple miles away. Alas, Hera soon found out Echo had spun her a yarn.
And what happened?
I tried to calm Hera down, but to no avail. She was furious with Echo for lying and punished her by taking her voice away. Again, I tried to intervene, but my powers aren't as strong as Hera's, so I was only able to get part of Echo's voice back.
The Echo?
Indeed. So sad. I must rest now.
Hera, Goddess Hera. A few questions. Do you feel guilty for what happened to poor Echo?
Stop, miss. You be sorry.
Be sorry. Be sorry.
Shut it, Echo.
Echo.
Layla. I will take your voice away too.
Away.
No, you won't silence me, Hera. We may never know exactly what happened to Echo, but I am determined to give a voice to all those who have been vanished by the gods. Like Narcissus, Echo has faded into the countryside. But if you stand on a hill or mountaintop, or wander through the valley and call her name, you may just hear her voice.
My voice. My voice.
This is Layla Repetari. From the land of gods, good night.